Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to change the fuel filter on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. This is a 2015 model, 3.0 liter. Year or model may vary, but a lot of it is the same. Now if you want to just go directly to the how-to on how to install it, skip to the timestamp below. But before then I'm going to just talk a little bit about the hows and whys, which filter you should get and all that stuff. So for starters, the filter that you want is made by this company MAN, and this is the original equipment, Mercedes-Benz filter. And I think MAN is a German company, but they do have stuff manufactured in other places. So this fuel filter, you'll see, it says made in Czech Republic, if you look closely. So if you go onto the Mercedes site, you're going to see this exact filter made in Czech Republic, MAN. Now if you go to the Mercedes-Benz dealer, this filter is going to cost you $107. I was able to find it on Amazon for $76. The only difference is the box. If you buy it from Mercedes, you get a white Mercedes box, and if you buy it outside of Mercedes, you're going to get a MAN filter box. Same filter. So save yourself some money. Don't buy it at the dealer, but do get the original part, because it does make sense to get a quality part for your Sprinter. The thing to keep in mind about fuel filters is that diesel fuel is very different than gasoline. Gasoline is not as critical. Diesel fuel tends to be more viscous, which means a little thicker, and it also tends to have more contaminants in it. So it's really crucial that you change your filter. If you don't, you run into potential problems of breaking down. The vehicle will run poorly, it may damage the engine, or worse yet, you may experience a situation where it won't start or run, and then you're stuck. So change it as directed. Mercedes suggests 20,000 miles. I think that's fine. They also now change it so their oil changes are suggested at 20,000 miles. I don't recommend that. I recommend 10,000 miles, but that's another topic. So do change your filter and get the MAN original equipment model, and we're going to just show you how to do it. There's a few things we've got to take off. We've got to take off the air box. It's right down in here. It's not that hard to see. So if you look down in there, I'm going to use this screwdriver to point to it, and it is right there. That's the can right there. So it screws in. Here's the hoses. We got to take those apart, and we'll take the air box off. Take this guy out of the way, and then we'll get to it. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take off the air box here, and we're going to start with these two clips here, and there's two. This one has two tabs, and you just pull it off like that. I loosened it to make it a little easier, and this one has a little tab on the side. You're going to press that in and pull this puppy off, and you're good. Put that aside, and then we're going to take off this clamp right here for the air intake. This is just a screwdriver. Maybe loosen it up a little more than you think you need to make it easy. And this guy's out of the way. And then we've got another one over here, and this guy, on this model there's just this kind of thing you can just kind of pull out, and then you can pull this out, or you can just leave it in. I'm going to pull it out, just get it out of the way. Next we're going to take off this jump start module. Can you see it? Yeah. There's a little tab on the bottom here, and we just push that in, and this slides up, and so that's out of the way. So that's free of the air box now. And so now this thing, theoretically, it's got these rubber dealies. If you're old and weak like me, it's kind of hard. Otherwise it should be pretty easy. That pops out, and then it slides in the back, and then your air box is out of there. All right, so now I'm just going to show you a few components so it all makes sense. This is kind of cool, because here's the turbocharger back here. This is the inlet side, and that's the exhaust side. So that's where your turbocharger is. And this is the air inlet. So, and this is the filter right here. My finger's on it right there. Hopefully you can see it. Here's another view. Since this is kind of in the way, I think I'm going to just take this screw out here and pull this puppy off so it's out of the way. Alright, so I got this clamp loose. I've spared you the hassle of watching me do that, and then this guy should be able to come off. Okay, so I want to point out here that when you take this air intake off, there's an electrical connection right here and also a hose here. So rather than taking those off and removing this whole thing, we can just move it aside. And you can see I've stuffed a rag in the turbo there, because you definitely do not want anything falling in there. So that's just to protect it. And now you can see we have a good view of our fuel filter right here. And these two points right here, this one that my finger's on and this one here, that's what holds the filter in. Probably going to wait to take this hose off until we lift up the filter, but we can take these two hoses off. The fuel hoses, the fuel in and fuel out, we can take those off right now. This one has hose clamps. Sometimes they'll have clips, and you have to pop the clip up and release it. These were probably replaced, and probably are not the original Mercedes parts, but they'll be fine. You don't want to use this kind of hose clamp on a radiator hose, but you can use it on a fuel hose. Okay, so now we've got the clamps loose. And I like to over loosen them and then slide them back out of the way, because they got to fit over a hump in the fuel filter. So what you want to do is you want to crack them loose. And you can see this one's loose, and this one is as well, but it's a little harder to get to. So now we're going to actually just pull these hoses off. You might get a little bit of diesel I would recommend you do this when the engine's cold, not when it's hot. You can see I'm spilling out a little bit of diesel there. Not very much, but it's okay. So we'll just grab a little towel and mop that up and we're good. Okay, so now we've got the hoses off. So we're gonna take these 2 bolts off and lift this puppy up. So I've got these loose, so I can just use this kind of screwdriver thing to, I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but taking out the bolts. I'll take out the other one, but not gonna bore you with that part. Okay, I'm gonna one-hand this now just so you guys get a good view. You can see I've got the 2 fuel hoses off. I don't have this one off yet, and I don't have this electrical clip off, but this guy's loose, so we can lift it up and pull it out so we can have better access to the other things that we need to take off. Okay, so now we've got it lifted up and we have a really nice view of it. So we can get it out pretty easy. We just have to take this off, and then we start putting it back in. Okay, I'm one-handing this again because I just want to give you a good view. But to get this hose off, there's this little clip thing here, and I'm gonna, oh yes, and there it is, I got it out. But it's better to do it with 2 hands because you don't want to lose this little guy. So put this guy in the safe place, and then you just give this guy here a little bit of a tug, and it'll come right out. Sort of. There we go. So now all we got to do is take this big plug out, and then we can get the fuel filter out. Getting this clip off was a little bit tricky. It just slides on the fuel filter over this thing. And you can see right here is a little tab, and that catches this clip here. So what you've got to do is squeeze this with your thumb or a pair of pliers and lift this up, and then it'll slide off. This one here was kind of dirty and stuck, so it was a little bit of a pain, but I got it off. And then you can pull the filter all the way out. And what you're going to see, besides a lot of diesel fuel, is this clamp around it. We're going to have to remove this clamp and put it on the new filter. It just has a, is that an Allen key? Looks like an Allen key of some sorts. I'm going to take this off, put it on the new filter. And the thing to remember is your 2 tabs that are close together here, this thing goes approximately right in between them. This one's might be a little off, but if you put this nozzle here right between these 2, you're going to be more or less in the right place. Or you can just match it up and put it in the same place. Okay, so this comes off easily with the 6mm Allen wrench. Whatever type you have is fine. Pin this puppy, get it loose enough to come off. And we are going to slip this on the other one. Remember what I just said, you want to keep track of where this is located, but I'm just going to install it so it's halfway between here and this nozzle here, and we're good. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this guy about halfway between these 2 guys. Got my 6mm Allen wrench here, and we're just going to crank this puppy down. Doesn't need to be too tight. You don't want to squish the thing. And now we're ready to install. Now I'd like to point out that since you saw me take everything out, I'm not going to go overboard with showing you how to put stuff back in. However, if there's anything that should be noted as I'm putting it back in, I will call that out. Okay, in reverse order, first thing we're going to do is snap this guy back on. And I didn't hear a real positive click, but it's all the way down, so we're good. And the next thing is going to be to put this hose back on. It's got a little O-ring in there. And remember, we've got our little clip, and you can see a little groove where the clip fits in. So this needs to slide on nice and tight. Okay, so right here you can see we've got the clip in. So make sure that puppy is really in there good, and it's not going to come out, because that's crucial. And you have to make sure that this is pushed on as far as it can go, which is just about less of 1/8 of an inch from this housing here. So just make sure this guy's good. And now we're going to start dropping it down. We can put our 2 fuel hoses on, bolt this guy down, and then we're on the way home. Okay, so next we tighten down our 3 bolts. We put on our clip here, the big clip, and then we put on our fuel hoses and tighten the clamps. And for the record, when you put the hoses back on, there will be spilled diesel fuel on those, so it'll be very slippery and they'll go on really nice. The other thing to note is this one and this one, they both have these little clamps that go under the unit here, so make sure you've got those attached. And this is the way this one was. I wouldn't be surprised if these were supposed to be actually be on top, but it works either way. So, and now we're just going to pull this rag out of here, and we're going to put on the air intake hose, and we're going to finish this puppy up. All right, so now we got to slide this hose back on. Make sure that this thing's okay, actually. Yeah. Check for tears or any issues with it. The thing seems to be fine, so we're going to get that back on. Tighten this clamp. Okay, so now we're going to put the airbox on. I just want to show you, see these 2 fork things? Those go right around these 2 rubber goodies here. And then the front ones just press into these guys right here. And then we put this guy on, and then our 2 electrical connections, and we're good to go. Next time I do this, I'm going to wash my engine before we do it, so I look a little bit slicker. Okay, so just push those puppies down, attach this guy here, tighten the clamp, which I'm going to do on my time. Okay, so our clamp here is nice and tight, and then we just got to put on these 2 electrical connections, which are dangling right over here, and these are just going to press on and click. You'll hear the click when they're good, or maybe you won't, but you'll know they're good anyway. Yeah, not so much of a click, but I could feel that they're on there good. And then we got this guy, and I want to show you this. There's this little round bump here. I hope you can see it. this brown bump here, and that's what kind of catches on this little round hole right here, which I also hope you can see, but maybe you can't. So we put this out of the way, and we're gonna, well, let's see, I'll probably put this in first. Let's see if we get a satisfying snap out of this one. Yeah, not really. And then this guy, come around here. This might be out of the frame, but we gotta just push this side back in. There's a satisfying snap, and then we've got this little guy. And this one just slides in from the top down. There's a little catch. There's a not so satisfying snap, and Bob's your uncle. We're done. Let me just say one more thing now. We saved about $30 on the fuel filter, and it's the same fuel filter. It's the proper man. And then, I don't know, a dealer would charge you at least $100. So we saved at least 130 bucks, maybe more. Plenty of money to take your honey out for dinner if you want to do that. If you're like me and you don't have a honey, maybe you'll just go get a massage or something. And one more thing you should do is be sure to start up the engine with the hood open. Look at it, make sure it's not leaking, and also wait a bit, make sure you don't smell anything, and make sure there's no diesel fuel on the ground. Once you've done that, your job is done. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching.